Say with Edifier's new W240TNs. They have active hybrid noise cancellation, an ambient mode, AI noise reduction with their microphones, and a dual driver setup. So it's been a while since I've seen this with some earbuds, and great to see they're doing something a little different again here, Edifier. So a 6mm driver that is handling the highs, and a 10mm that is handling the lows and the mids. They have an IP55 rating. They've got a gaming mode, which is 80 milliseconds, and they do have a runtime of 7 hours with the ANC on, and an additional 14 from the case. Now the earbuds have this piston design to them and a physical click-in button. Yes, not the capacitive touch controls which are hit and miss, but proper physical buttons that you can actually hear click a little when you press them. So this is what you'll find in the box. We have our manual, safety information, Type A to Type C cable, some spare silicone ear tips. Now the ones that are on here, these are the mediums, and I'm lucky. Normally the mediums work for me. These ones also do, so I've got a good seal. And that's the important thing. You want to try all the different sizes out to make sure you get a really good seal. That way you're getting not only the best noise cancellation, but also the best sound quality possible. So let's take a look at the weights. They do feel quite lightweight. So there we go, 6. Slightly heavier actually than some of the others I've reviewed. But why is that? That's because it's got dual drivers inside. That would have something to do with it. Your total travel weight is just 51 grams. The case of these Edifier W240TNs does, as you can see, pick up a few little smudges and things. And even if I wipe it down with a microfiber cloth, it tends to remain the plastics they've used. But it is good. The quality of these plastics, there's no sharp edges or anything like that. It doesn't feel cheap. So we have a status LED here at the front. There's a magnet that keeps that lid down, and giving it a shake, well, sometimes it rattles around a little bit. Now they sit in there quite nicely. They're held in place with magnets. You can see the pogo port pin connectors there for charging. And there is space down in there if you are going to be using, for example, some foam tips instead of the supplied silicone one. Your own custom foam ones will fit in there when you push them in, but you may have to give it a bit of a wiggle, but they should charge in there without a problem. So that's good. The back here, we do have our reset button. We do have the Type-C port, of course, for charging. Now let's talk a little bit about the battery life out of these. So we're looking at 7 hours run time with the ANC on, 14 from the case. If you turn ANC off, it is then 8.5 hours and 17 from the case. The earbuds have this piston design to them, and yes, that is a physical click-in button there for our controls. Really good. I'm always someone that complains a little bit about the capacitive touch controls. Often you go to tap them, and it doesn't work. I have to repeat it often. But with these, that never happens. In fact, when you press it, you push it in, you feel a little, and you even hear a little click when it isn't in your ear there. It's quite satisfying. And here we have around the outside, no sharp edges with this plastic. So glossy plastic here. We do have the charging pins there, the little contacts. Now they are sitting flush, so they should not irritate your ears or anything like that. And then our silicone tips, after a week of wearing them, they feel fine. They're not softening up, which other brands, that can sometimes happen. They're still getting a very good seal with them. And later on, I'll talk about the fit. Then our app. So this is called Edifier Connect. And when you get into it, there is no login required, which is good. You don't have to register. You can just jump straight into it. You find your model and it will connect up. And here we go. It gives us the options. So I can set the noise cancellation. I can also set, of course, the ambient sound mode. I can turn off the noise cancellation. You can see your battery life, which is good. You've got the battery life there of both the left and right, and currently the case is offline there. It's telling me. Now, if you swipe here to the left, you've then got equalizer options. Now, it's not super detailed. They've got 2 presets there, and then custom you can go into. Now, the good thing about it is this is a global equalizer that's going to stay with the earbuds. You don't have to have this app open. You can do other things, and it's going to keep there with it. But it is on classic by default, which is what I'm leaving it on. So there are the frequency options there. You can tweak it up there, the decibels, the gain. For example, you want to boost up the lows, the bass, then you're able to do so there with the app. So it is pretty basic, and we have another setting here too, which is the game mode, which reduces the latency when gaming down to 80 milliseconds. And there even are settings in here for the controls. You can go along and change those, which I do like. Now, this gives us the option that when you're in calls, and when you're not in the call mode, to select what exactly you want those presses to do. Along with the return of the physical clicking buttons, we do have dual drivers. Now, they've gone with a 10mm. They are coaxial dynamic drivers, and then a 6mm. So obviously the 6mm are meant to be and assigned to handling the highs, a little bit of the mids with the frequencies, and then the 10mm mostly will be handling the lows there and some mid frequencies too as well. Now, the bass does not disappoint. It is very powerful with these. It comes through really good, really strong. It's not to the point where I would say it is over the top either. It doesn't clip. And then the highs to me are a little disappointing. Now, I get the feeling that maybe they should have put a balanced armature in this instead of the 6mm so-called tweeter that's in there handling those highs. Now, don't get me wrong here. It's not utterly disappointing, but I've also noticed that I think sometimes the lows are affecting the mids just a little bit. It seems that the way to describe it is when you hear vocals, it sounds a little lower in volume for some reason compared to the rest of the instrument. So you have your singer and they seem a little quieter with these. And then those highs aren't quite as detailed as I would like. So definitely the focus is on powerful bass with these. And I think a lot of people are going to be happy with the tune. But if you're someone that really enjoys highs, really detailed and good sounding vocals that aren't, well, I would say subdued a little bit as they are with the W240TNs. Using the app and enabling that gaming mode, which is 80 milliseconds, I have noticed that it does seem to be quite good. It makes a difference here. So when I cast a spell here, the sound's pretty much coming out, although I've got them sitting right here, but I can tell you I've tested them out, that it comes out pretty much the exact same time. And that is really good. There's not that noticeable delay there with it, at least not here with the Shaoshin Pad Pro tablet that I'm testing out here. Not really an issue. Now, if you're watching something like Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, it seems to be pretty good. I sometimes see a fraction of a delay with the sync with people's mouths, but most of the time it's at a level where I wouldn't find irritating and you wouldn't really notice it unless you went looking for it. Microphone sample now of the W240TNs, and you can hear from these mics that these companies are taking note. Over the last year, we've seen a dramatic improvement in microphones and TWS tech, and I'm all for it, finally. They used to just completely ignore the mics, and a lot of the times you'd have terrible quality, but they're quite good here with these. And we do have AI active noise cancelling with the microphones. Connection time for these is very quick, so just like other Bluetooth 5 tech, once you're getting them out of the case, they're pretty much paired up. Now when you place them in your ears, you just need to give them a little bit of a twist and then you get that fit. So that is what they look like when you are wearing them. And they're quite comfortable. I have noticed that a couple of times, this ear, for some reason, it feels like I need to just go back and give it another little twist a bit because it feels like it could almost drop out on me. That normally happens after I've been wearing them for about 45 minutes or so. Now, this question comes up a lot. Are they earbuds that you could sleep in? Well, they are and they aren't. The good thing is that if you're wearing them, because they don't support capacitive touch controls, that if anything rubs up against them, it doesn't tend to trigger because it's a physical press-in button. But because of the design of them, I find that they're not really comfortable enough to sleep on them or wear them because they just put too much pressure on your ear after a while, and it's just not going to work there, unfortunately, with these. So the range of them seems typical Bluetooth 5. I really haven't had any problems with them disconnecting. I'm kind of in a semi-busy environment here because I've got now a lot of security cameras all running on 2.4 gigahertz band with wireless, and it's the same band, very similar, but different frequencies, of course, for Bluetooth, and I've had no issues. I've got Bluetooth mice here, other Bluetooth tech, and no problems with them disconnecting on me, which is great. And I can leave the phone that I'm using with them up here and walk downstairs and they're not going to disconnect on me, so that's good. So the fit, I think it's good, but I wouldn't rate it as a sports fit. It's not like a style of earbud that you could go running a short little marathon. You go and run like 5 kilometers or something wearing these, because I feel they're probably going to drop out on you if you do that, okay? So that's something just to bear in mind there. So the active noise cancellation, you've got the option of having it off, on, or the ambient mode. Now, when you put them on, you turn on the noise cancellation, which is on now. Yeah, I can't hear the fan that's on, the air conditioning unit. So it's really good at blocking out those more higher pitched noises too. And then engine rumbles and lower frequencies is good at. The mid kind of frequencies, like someone tapping away on a keyboard, people talking, babies screaming and stuff, it doesn't block that out 100%. So I would rate the active noise cancelling on these to be above average. I would not rate them as being the best. Some more expensive TWS tech that I've been using recently, they are superior, but they're more expensive models. So it's still good. It's above average you're getting there. Now, you probably heard that microphone sample. I think it's decent. Microphones are something that these brands, a lot of them with the tech, were just completely ignoring mics. And there was some, in the past, some terrible microphones that I gave samples of and like, wow, people couldn't even understand you, but you can with these. So that's a positive area. So overall, the W240TNs, very, very good when it comes to bass. Now, a lot of people love bass. They love powerful, strong bass because of the setup with the drivers having the two dynamic drivers there. So one handling the lows, the 10mm makes sense, the larger one, producing those really good lows, powerful bass. And even when you're watching, say, Netflix with a movie with explosions and things and a lot of bass and that, it's like, wow, really powerful. This is where you get into an area where, for me personally, it's all subjective. I feel a little bit lackluster when it comes to the mids. They just need to be tweaked up a little bit. I'm talking about the tune out of the box here, which is the classic one with the application. So just one area, and the highs could be just a little bit better there. I'm not saying the tune is bad at all with these. It's very good. You can push the volume quite loud too as well. There's no clipping, there's no distortion. It's just that, for me, the vocals seem there's something missing. There should just be a little more there, I feel. And of course, someone could test these out and say, hey, I don't agree with you, because of course it's all subjective here too. So they definitely, I think, for the price point, cover a lot of areas in what you want. You've got a nice, reasonable compact size. But for me, the biggest thing is these click-in buttons, to see them return, because it's been a while now. Out of all the TWS tech I review, they're all just capacitive touch controls. Others work really well, others work not so well, others are very hit and miss. I still find that pretty much all of them will never work 100% of the time. But these physical click-in buttons, they do. And then the bass, in terms of bass, they certainly deliver here. So thank you so much for watching my review here of Edifier's W240TNs.